for everybody who and we had a lot of comments too, by the way, people commenting. I wish I would have opened up the comment line. If you just watched the show I did with Leo Naranjo here, you know that we he exposed some extraordinary fraud in the state of California. But there's one thing that he and I were just talking off the air about, and I said we got to go back on, and I'll splice this into the show. So if you don't mind, that's what I'm doing right now. And I'll open it up with a question. Um, this question here: five, four, three. Okay. Obviously, the government's in on it. State, federal, county, they're all in on it, even city, because they're all getting money from it. They're all getting a lot of money from it, and hopefully that's going to end soon. But what about all the fraud perpetrated by the people who are receiving the cards? How are they cheating the system? The EBT with their little debit card, then they go in their food stamp program to get groceries. It's not just groceries, though, is it? There's much more to it than that. But how are they defrauding the system?
Well, you get money on your EBT card, your electronic benefits transaction card. So that's it started with. A lot of hyperbole about that now because it's not chipped like everything else. So these folks get cards with a PIN number. Individual puts in a PIN number through our office, gets the card, whoop, off they go. The 1st through the 10th is when the food stamp program pays out corresponding to the last digit of your social security number, whatever that is. So example, if yours ends in a 5, you're not going to get food stamps till the 5th day of the month, so on and so forth down the line.
Oh,
Cash aid,
interesting.
first 3 days. CalWorks, I'm not too sure. I think it's within the first 3 days also. And so when you get your card, what they call filled up or generated, then you go out and you do your thing. Well, what we had in Sacramento was the stream of, I lost my food stamp card. I lost my ABT card. I misplaced my ABT card. Mind you, this is the only thing you're supposed to have as a homeless, strapped individual is that benefit card. But these folks were coming in like candy. And one particular instance, in a month, I had an individual that changed out their EBT card no less than 16 times in a month. 16. Obviously generated a fraud investigation from me. But the problem was investigators couldn't find anything. And I finally pressed. I said, whatever it is you need to do, I need you to do it because people think this woman is my girlfriend. She's in here so often looking for a new card. She got busted for a $40,000 bail warrant for cocaine smuggling. But anyway, you get your card and you take your card and you go out on the street. Well, I don't really need food stamps. I want money. Charlie, for every $2 of my card on food stamps, you give me $1 in cash. So I'm going to give you a $250 fully charged food stamp card. You're going to give me $125 back, and now both sides are happy. You get a card, I got cash. The problem is when you, the person who just purchased the card, try to use it, something's wrong here. The food stamp card don't work. And you call it in, and you get asked a few questions. Well, Charlie Simons, your name is not Betty Boobop. So what are you doing with that card? You must have bought it. Yes, I did. Oh, okay. Well, you just got swindled too, because Betty Boobop reported her card stolen or lost, got a brand new one with a new PIN number to do it all over again. Now, there is a little known fact here. You know, they're bringing up in the news how they're charging people in these stores. Oh, people are getting over in the stores. I really don't care what they use food stamp money for. Just buy food with it. It's up to you. You're not questioned about what you need a bank loan for. You get a bank loan, you go do what you do. So let's put the same rule to them. But what's happening is these people legitimately are going into stores. Walmart was the biggest one that they announced. And they make their purchases, pop in their card, do their PIN, and off they go. Scammers have infiltrated the scanning system of the card readers. So what are they doing? Getting the PIN in the card. What are they doing? They're liquidating the income from the EBT card. That's what's being reported.
And they'll keep doing it every month
And
until
they'll keep doing it
until it
every
gets
month
cut off.
till it gets cut off. And so when you hear the reports of stores or store owners or anything else like that, wink, wink, nod, nod, somebody knows those scanners and skimmers are there And that's how they're getting their food stamp cards drained so fast, so often, so quickly. Somebody is ripping off the numbers, selling the information, and they're just purging them through the system. That's how they drain the income so fast. What happens to us, the worker? Person's been robbed. We do what we can, replace what's allowed to be replaced, and then they move it along, and we encourage them. If you think you got robbed at Walmart, don't go to Walmart anymore. Go to another store, which is what they try to do. So I don't blame the recipients. I blame the SOBs instilling these skimmers and working with their cohorts in these stores that they know they can get away with this from.
It happened to me at a gas station. I won't say the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
At a gas station, and knowing that they're tapping these skimmers at the pump, I go inside, and I use my card inside, and then next thing I know, I've racked up almost $3,000 in charges on my debit card.
Walmart dutifully cleaned up their act, from what I
and
understand.
the bank is saying, this seems kind of unusual, so we thought we would check on you. Well, thank God they did. And I wound up, they didn't charge me any of that, but they could have. They could have. I mean, why would they take the hit? Why would the stores take the hit? They probably shouldn't, but they do.
But you can get skimmed in California. Next thing you know, your card's getting used in New York or Cincinnati or
Right.
Ohio or anywhere.
Yeah. And again, I didn't use the pump. I actually went inside to use my card.
Right.
So I now have a new cash only policy for getting any kind of fuel from this particular gas station, if I still go. But there's ways that the people work the system, and we can blame the government for it and the ineffectiveness or inaccuracy or the waste, the fraud, the deceit, all of that on the government for only so long. And then we got to look at the people actually perpetrating the crimes, like Minnesota. An entire Somalian population has figured out how to work the system, and they know how to work the system. These are the same people who are going to go into a house, rent it, knowing that they're not going to pay you a dime's worth of rent, and they're going to wind up sitting there for a good 10, 11, 12 months living rent free while you try your best to go through the court systems of California, which is dead set against property owners. I know, because again, I experienced that as well. Mm-hmm. With a renter that knew how to work the system. And so where do you lay the blame? All on the government agencies, or do you start looking at the people who are perpetrating the crimes too? And there's so many different ways that they cheat. Selling the cards and then turning around telling you, oh, I lost it, or it's gone, or I can't find it, I need another one. And then that's one way. What are some other ways that you know of?
That I'm aware of? Selling the card was the biggest one. I actually had a joke going in the office where I had somebody that bought a card, had that happen where it got cut off. I got that person to report the original card owner for fraud. And folks laughed at me, said, I can't believe you got a person off the street to work for you investigating fraud. It's kind of humorous, but you have cards that are sold, and folks know the cutoff dates. Everybody on the street seems to know more than the average Joe Blow. So they know when they can unleash the card, strip out the money, toss the card. The card companies, what do? Charge the counties per bulk replacement. And if you're doing one person with...
I knew somebody was paying for those.
And we're paying for those. Yep. You have regional transit. Oh, we subsidize them too. You know how much it costs to ride regional transit in Sacramento, California? I personally have no idea. But a homeless person will get a all day, all the time, through the month, $25 cost for them to get a bus ticket, to ride the system. And whatever the real difference is between you and I, $25 is what comes out of their grant. The rest is subsidized by the government. There you go.
Ultimately us.
That's how regional transit's getting some money back, because we have to pay them for those $25 bus passes. May have gone up since 2017, so I'm just using old info. Disclaimer. But yeah, it's so embedded. Everything that has an action is there's a reaction. Everything that has a monetary payout to a person has a payout for the administration. And remember, this is not about people signing up and getting indoctrinated into the program. The first payment that's made is when you apply. It's the application processing fee, the work to process and generate the application for you to fill it out. And lo and behold, don't forget adding in this little codicil. We as workers were never allowed to ask you for your citizenship status. Anybody can apply for aid. Don't believe that hype you hear on the news. Illegals cannot apply for aid. Yes, they can. Yes, they do. Yes, they have. And they get benefit cards because we're not allowed to ask that question. They're an applicant. That's it. Everyone can apply, does not exclude illegal aliens. And that's where that starts to bleed into they get benefits. These so-called advocates, they know damn well what the system is.
Another way they're working it too is all you have to do when all else fails and they keep telling you no, or you want to try and divert them away from trying to call you out on fraud if they're actually doing their job, which, as we know, Leo, is a stand alone for the most part. They claim to be homeless.
Oh, that's the go-to. Everybody that applies is homeless. And let me tell you what that does when you make that revelation. Sacramento County has suffered another dirty trick. Sacramento County has suffered numerous lawsuits. And remember, food stamps is a federal regulational program. They have rules that apply no matter what state that you have that program in. One of the rules states, if I'm homeless, I have an immediate need for subsistence. Immediate need. Oh, homeless. No food in the pantry. Immediate need. Homeless and immediate need go hand in hand. You now have to process this paperwork within 72 hours or be sued from those that help the homeless people. And the county bends over backwards to ensure they don't get sued. So they grant benefits. Now, if you get rejected, who cares? You come back tomorrow and do it again. Something in your status changed. You can apply every day if you want to.
You just reminded me of something during Obama's campaign of trying to get everybody on food stamps. I remember one of the commercials said, if you've applied before and got turned down, try again.
Yep, you can do it the next day. As long as you let 72 hours pass. Do it the next day. Who cares? Charlie, you can apply 30 times in a month, 31 if it's a 31-day month, excluding weekends and holidays, and we will process your application. Why are we happy about that? Because we're getting paid to process your paperwork. You're pissed because you can't get in the program, but we're happy because we're getting paid trying to get you into the program. And then if you get into the program, well, we get paid to administer your program. Well, I'm only getting $5 a month. Doesn't matter to me. I'm getting paid to manage your $5 a month. That's how that grift works. And you want to know the sickest grift is the people that say they're disabled. Most of them are. Most of them are. Homeless folks, a lot of disabilities. Where do they have to go? Because they don't qualify for Social Security. You have to apply for SSI. SSI, that little bit of money that you get way back when, food stamps was a non-qualifier if you were on SSI because food stamps was embedded in that program. Those rules have now changed, so you can now draw both. Yes. But going back to SSI, you apply because you are crippled, handicapped, unable to work, whatever the case might be. You can be the brightest person in the world, Lex Luthor, if you want to put it there. You will not qualify for SSI. Well, I got all my papers. Yes. I got all my medical. Yes. I filed everything in accordance with their formworks. Yes. Why am I not going to apply? It's been 4 years. Because you didn't get a lawyer.
It's exactly right. You
and they
gotta
give
get
you
it.
a list.
Everybody knows that too now. That is like common knowledge. You want to get permanent disability, get an attorney and they'll get it for you.
You have to get an attorney. And mind you, you've been fighting this for 4 years. So you've racked up a sizable portion of income to get paid. You've done everything, but the answer is still no. Even Social Security has this problem. But we're staying with SSI. So you finally decide, oh, I'm frustrated. Let me just get the lawyer from the list they gave you that's supposed to be fighting them, but they're fighting for you. You get a lawyer off that list. You walk into SSI. That person takes the same paperwork you have presented, presents it, Bam, there you go. You're
And
paid.
you're approved. I
Your
know. I know.
$40,000
And
back.
there are attorneys running ads saying that
But
we will
wait,
do just that.
it gets better because you get your $40,000 back paid, just to use numbers. The attorney, they get the cut of that payment first. So you get a net 20% less because the rest goes to the attorney. They know that, which is why they force you to get the attorney. And now that you got on SSI, that's it. You do what you do. And so that's a little skim that those so-called we're helping and we're advocating for. Some of those people know the rules better than workers to the
Right.
degree that they know the rules. But
Yeah.
that's another portion of the scam. Social Security is the same way. You can't get into Social Security without a lawyer. Try it on your own and see what happens. You'll probably never get on the program. And our program intentions as a worker, here's the basic disposition that nobody talks about. If you've been applying for 3 years and you quit, Leo did a great job because Charlie gave up. If you are staying with it, oh God, this man's back again. Fine, Charlie, here's your check. Get the hell out of my office. Well, I didn't do the greatest job because you got paid. But the other 10 people got frustrated behind you and they quit. I did a wonderful job. That's the intentions of programs. It's not talked about, not discussed, but they really don't want to pay you. They want to think you're going to get paid, and they hope that you quit. And I've told many an individual
They get paid in the processing. Yeah. Yep. They get paid in the processing.
Go through the process if you feel that you're right, because you're not going to get it on sympathy. You have to fight for what's yours. But now they've taken it to a new degree. George Carlin figured it out in the 70s. When folks start understanding that you can get paid for being homeless, oh my God, the world is open to you. It's proven $35 billion later.
Wow. Dang, Leo. Dang. I don't know how any governor can clean all that up. In the state of California, at least. You're fighting against all the others.
It's a daunting task, and I'm willing to do it. And try. That's all you can do. But
I don't hear any other candidates talking like this. I don't hear anybody else running for governor talking about this kind of stuff because they probably don't have the kind of experience you have.
They don't have the internal experience. They can talk about the program all they want. They've never been in it to see it. Well, I'm getting expert opinion from someone who was never in it that's telling you what they think they know. I'm telling you where I've been, what I've seen and endured, and there are people I've ran across the street. You think that a worker that's full of BS is a happy camper when they go out across the street? No, they'll be lucky if that worker isn't assaulted. I've seen people in the office get assaulted for some of the stuff they've pulled. But Leo, you're kind of brash. You're kind of hard. You're kind of matter of fact, open to, in conversation.
Good.
Skippy. And I've never had.
That's what I like.
Had an individual that has applied with me. I've never had a client, as we called them, attempt to assault me ever in my office. Now, I've called in the sheriff's numerous times because of clients and their disposition, or in one particular case, because when I got done talking to the gentleman, I knew they needed to be 5150, which is held medically because they're a little off. But I told the person, I'm calling the sheriff not because you're in trouble, but it's because they're equipped to answer your questions. I'll be right outside the door, and we'll go from there when it all ends. Sheriff came out 15 minutes later and said, don't worry about him. He's coming with us because he was suicidal. But that person was trained to make that determination. I'm pretty sure that's what it needed to do, but I let the experts do it. I've never had an individual assault me, threaten to assault me, or otherwise. Take that back. One person did threaten to assault me. I called the investigators on him. His girlfriend jumped into his case and quickly apologized for the mistake. Was I good? In today's terms, I was a goat in the welfare office.
Very good. The welfare goat.
Welfare goat.
You need a t-shirt with that.
Yep. But it's the tip of the iceberg of welfare. CPS has horror stories. CalWorks people have horror stories. Charlie, it's immeasurable how much money that you're going to find. And these are the so-called people who are required to give you the numbers. Well, if we have this much fraud, who's not doing their job? the program specialists, the so-called deputy directors, the directors, the administrative managers. All these people are involved because you can't hide numbers. But if an employee spouts the numbers, I almost assure you that employee will be unemployed or charged with something to get rid of what they're saying. Numbers are doctored and everybody moves aside.
You said you can't hide numbers, but one of those Somalian daycares in Minnesota found a way because they had a break in, and whomever broke in stole nothing but all the numbers.
Oh, they're still there. They might be gone for the moment, but they're still there. Yeah, the fraud is there. So
people need to be doing the perp walk. People need to be going to prison for this.
That's
they
the
need
only
to be
way
wearing
you
an
change
orange
this.
jumpsuit. That's it.
There's two ways to change it. Number one, we as individuals have to be more prudent about who we put in government and what we let government get away with. And number two, we have to have individuals. I don't care about the word accountable. Everybody is accountable. These people have a job to be accountable. What they have failed is their responsibilities. And that's my emphasis. When you failed in your responsibilities as a manager, I'm not going to hang 4 employees for your indiscretion. Now, if they helped you, yes. But you as a manager are the person in charge. You lost $25 billion. You bet your sweet butt you're going to get charged with something, because you sure as hell, number one, are going to get terminated for failure to do your job. And then we're going to investigate how bad you failed at your job. And if there's criminal implications, then I'm going to seek to have you charged for them, sentenced accordingly, and jailed. That's how you begin to make fixes and changes. And that's how you instill the attitude that there's a new person in charge of government that is expecting positive results, not BS platitudes.
And if, Lord willing, you do get to do that, you get that position, you do win the gubernatorial election coming up this November. Or first, you got to get past the primaries.
Got to beat the primary first.
Yeah, I know that the media will ignore all that you're doing. So count on me.
They're complacent too.
They're complicit.
They're complacent too.
They're complicit. Yes. They're
complicit.
A part of it. I will
not directly.
I will always give you a way to let people know. Count on me.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And don't forget, subscribe, like, and sign on to Mr. Simons. You see his logo on that side of the screen. Good man. Help him out. Let him bring forth the truth of what's happening so that you can get an understanding as a citizen what's going on. And let me leave you with this, Charlie. Stakeholders to me are the taxpayers of this state, citizens of this state. You ask anybody else what a stakeholder means, you'll never be told who they're talking to make the financial impacts to your life. Well, we're building this. We got to talk to our partners, our financiers, our constituency, and our stakeholders, and public questions are next month.
Right.
How many times have we heard that? Stakeholders to them has an unknown meaning. Stakeholder to me is the citizens of this state. And if they're not number one in the equation, this project is dead in the water, period.
There you go. Right on, buddy. All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for this part 2. I will add it to the original show, and I'll get it posted on Rumble, and I'll get you the link, Leo, and you watching right now. Thank you for tuning in again to this little addendum. I wanted to get that information out there about how people are cheating the system too, not just the government ineffectiveness or inefficiency or downright fraudulent behavior. So thank you for that, Leo, and thanks for sticking around, and I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
God bless y'all.
Thanks, man.